There we go.
I look, my phone just like went dumb.
Well, I don't. So Laura was in there too, and I couldn't get her. I kept hitting accept, and it wouldn't put her through.
Yeah, I
It took
don't
me.
ask, man.
It took me a couple times to do Rocky.
All right, let's see what we got going on here now. We're going to share it all back out again here. So I don't even know who we.
What the hell
have.
happened?
Dude, my phone went dumb mode. Like I don't know what happened. So it just like shut it down. I wish I knew. I'm trying to share it all out to everybody again here. So
I mean, I can tell you the cure, but you're not gonna like it.
You got
it ain't got
that's
nothing
fine.
to do. It ain't got nothing to do with that, boys.
Oh,
It ain't
yeah,
got nothing to do with all that at all. You
Sorry,
can take that nonsense somewhere else.
Yeah.
I don't ever have that problem. Mine acting dumb.
No, I mean, neither.
Oh, don't even start. Yes, you do. Don't even start. I'm not even going to listen to that horse hockey today. Yeah, you
I
can
never
take that
have
somewhere
one
else.
I got all the Apple products, iPad Pro. I got my iPhone Pro. I got my my Mac Pro. I have no one issue.
Oh.
See? You have another issue. Ugh. Well, I'm going to stop at the Loves in here and give me a cup of coffee.
No, it's not an issue. I was texting the group again that we are back TikTok live. So, I don't know what happened.
I don't know. Who did join? I know Laura was there.
I know, and I just texted back, and I just put it back out there that we're back up here. So
Did you apologize on the text?
Everybody, I sent in the group text, brother.
Mm-hmm. I
sent in the group text.
I would say, I'm so sorry. I apologize that my phone, the Android phone, did kind of screw up on me.
I think TikTok is screwing with you because the live didn't even show up. Like, because if there's any lives for that your followers are doing, or like one of our, whoever you're following is in, it comes up as a live. It didn't even come up like that.
You know what? You make my day, Laura, because I just listened to you.
There's Cisco. We got Cisco back in the house now. So there we go.
So I'll be on here for a minute, but I'm cooking again.
Oh my gosh, you suck. I mean,
is that all you do?
Hold on a minute. This is baloney. I'm stuck in a truck stop in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and you're over here rubbing it in that you're probably making like meatballs and stuff again?
No,
or some beautiful bread or some sort of soup or something?
It's football day, so we're having brats and homemade potato salad.
Okay, I'm done. I am done. I used to like you. I really did. Like you were one of the
I'll probably make
five.
Maybe some guacamole. I don't know yet.
See,
why do you do these things?
I can tell you the outcome of that football game today. The Bears are going to kick ass. I mean, it's only the Packers.
Oh, no,
come on. We'll see. Man. See, my family's from Wisconsin, and then my best friend's fiance is a Bears fan, so it's like, boy.
Well, we understand where you went wrong then.
Now, you better be easy. No, yesterday, Pablo, was broccoli cheddar soup and pretzel sticks.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to Colorado. And I'll be there to get some food because if not, I'll be pissed.
Yeah. At this point, I am on my way. So, like, this is ridiculous.
Listen, but see, that's what part of the thing that, like, it's my job, not because I'm a woman, but it's my job, If my husband's out of town, like, I'm supposed to cook. He doesn't eat out. So I cook and he takes the food from home, and that's how you make money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But again, in your guys' defense, you guys are more OTR. We're not. We might be.
I'm cooking. I'm just don't eat out as much.
Yeah.
I cook a lot.
The only place my husband likes to eat out, and I don't know why because I've never been there, is called Spangles. I don't know what a Spangles is.
Is it because of the
It's probably like Twin Peaks.
No. My husband doesn't set foot in anything like that.
It's more likely because you know Hooters. It's like maybe Hooters on steroid, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, so I busted my ass. I was trying to find a load out of Chickasha, Oklahoma, you know, because I took a longer run to keep my guys busy. And now I'm pissed because I was going to go, my husband and I were going to do it so that if I couldn't find a load, we could sit down there and I'd find I have friends in Woodward or whatever that we could mini vacay it. Then they give me the trailer number and they loaded it on their trailer, which means I can't backhaul anything.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
So I get paid round trip, but I mean, that's fine. But now I got to figure out how to make it right with them because they're going to shit their pants if I do my normal rate.
So
And I don't want to give them.
Rate.
I'm not going to give them the normal rate because I want them to continue giving me those until I get my other dedicated run back.
You know.
Which, I mean, if I had known that, I wouldn't have dispatched my driver on it. I would have done my loads a lot differently so that Sam and I could have ran it. But whatever. So now he's sitting Monday and Tuesday. But that's fine.
Well,
I guess if
you'll
you
get
own
to
a
go to
business
Spangles.
if you own a business for 28 years, you're not supposed to be out there busting your ass that hard anymore, right?
Oh,
That helps
who
keep
said
the money
that?
in house.
That's why I cook at home too. Thank God. I mean, I really do thank God that we've managed our money the way we have and all of our equipment's paid for. When you don't have truck payments, you can make it through really shitty times.
No kidding.
Yep.
Just go how
Yeah.
I mean, if I
What's
had
up,
torque,
Roger?
Well, nothing. I'm just trying to get my spangles on.
hey, Roger changed his name. Now he's trying to mess with my head. I thought he was lost and found, and now he's something. Is this real?
I've got
He
two
was lost and
You
found
cannot
like
mess
maybe a
with
couple
us
hours
like
ago.
that.
I've got two profiles, and that's and I just go from one to the other depending how I feel.
Oh, 10-4, gotcha. I need another profile. I need an OnlyFans. Then I don't have to worry about trucking anymore.
Well,
So Roger,
Sarah,
do you have personalities to go with each one, or is it just a name?
both.
Disco,
I'm like
that
Dylan
other
guy.
live
like
that
that
you guys
Dylan
were
guy.
in.
Sarah, I think I got a name for your chat.
Sarah's not in here yet.
Oh, I'm
Just
sorry.
check.
Not in
What?
here yet?
Okay, what did you drink or eat? Because you don't stop moving.
Who?
You.
Me? That's called
Yes.
ADHD.
No, it's called you gotta take a shit.
No,
Oh.
I did that before I left the
Oh, my.
yeah, what's
Oh,
it
my.
called?
Oh,
The
my.
plant over there at Cargill. So
I had to say
yeah.
you gotta take another shit.
You know what I learned the
No,
other day too
I
about
don't.
brokers? Brokers, they use AI to answer their phone, so you can't even get any information about the load.
Yes. Yes.
That
Yes.
is bullshit.
They do
Yeah,
more and more.
Matt and I had a whole conversation the other day when he had a meltdown about it. So
Oh, I had a meltdown about it too because they make you sign their carrier packet and all their crap, and I don't even know that I'm gonna haul the fucking load.
yeah,
Pardon my French. Hopefully, I didn't offend
No.
anybody.
Yes, you
No, you're
did when
fine.
you say "Pardon my French," you offend me because you say "Pardon my French."
Oh my Lanta.
No. You say
You,
"Pardon
you
my
just,
Germain."
you are just on one today, aren't you?
Well, you know what?
That's because he had some days off.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
yes
that's
and
what
no.
happens.
I was over there, and I work on the Galaxy with my
I need-
in-law.
I need to get you and my sister-in-law together because she's French, and it takes me a minute to catch up when we're talking. Like it takes me a minute to catch up to what she's saying because of the accent.
She's French.
Yeah, she's very much French. I'm gonna have to
Hey.
send you the city that she's from.
Yes. Why not? Just send me. She's on Facebook. Just click me on Facebook or on TikTok. Shit.
Yeah, I don't think she's on TikTok.
Well, she need to be. That's stupid.
Maybe she is. She has a pottery business in Wisconsin where the Packers are.
Oh, well, that's the place I don't go in Wisconsin. Even my brother-in-law is living over there. I don't go to Wisconsin. I fucking hate that place. living in Green Bay, where Appletown.
Oh yeah. I pick up
Don't
paper
like it.
pellets up there sometimes.
Yeah, what if she say, "Oh, I'm going to Thanksgiving in Wisconsin in here to see my brother. You want to come in with me?" I look at her and say, "Enjoy it." She said, "Why? It's too cold for me."
Here you go, Pablo. I'm going to help you with me not sitting still anymore. We're going to drink a ghost.
Oh my gosh, we are so screwed.
Yeah, that's gonna help out.
Yeah, we are screwed.
You know the funny part
This
about it
coming
is,
from
guys,
a guy who was in the hospital not that long ago. What a great decision.
Hey, what's wrong with being
I
in the
drink-
hospital?
look, I'm going to explain this to you. I've been shot, stabbed, ran over by 2 boss cows. I've spent probably a total of close to about 8 months of my life in the ICU. And I'm going to just take one line out of I've come to the conclusion the only thing that's going to kill me is me. So
It's going to be your wife.
the only way that would happen is if I'm asleep, and she's already admitted that one. She's like, he's too big and mean to go to when he's awake. So she just had to wait for him, But I will know that it is comforting that at some point I probably will go in my sleep, and not at any natural hand to say that also. So
Hey, listen to me, Cupcake in here. I got caught on my truck in here. I got an intake manifold pressure too high. And injected fuel mass too high.
that means your turbo's overboosting. If your intake manifold pressure is too high, you're overboost. What's your boost showing?
I don't know. I'm not driving anymore.
These fucking trucks, our driver rolled in here. He limped our truck into the yard. He lost a fucking clutch linkage.
I got my is a P4, so it don't show me the boost. I got a load, but I have data.
You can't pull it up on the dash by going into the dash and pulling it up?
No, on the P4.
I'll be
You
back.
took that away in that one, huh? Son of a
Yeah.
gun.
So I got my.
And you don't
computer right now.
have a gauge on your dash either, do you?
No. I was just looking on my computer right now. Pressure.
Yeah, if you're showing intake manifold pressure too high, that's most likely a boost issue.
Inlet pressure. I'm not driving, so 0 psi.
Where'd Roger and
That is
Cisco
fine.
go?
Exhaust manifold pressure. Right now I'm at 14 psi. Let me put my gas. Yeah, about 16 psi. So I'm good. Inlet manifold pressure 14 psi. Push my gas. Oh, 14.4. 14.6.
Yeah,
No, that's
I mean,
fine because
that's
my
one of the
pressure
night times.
cooler out is 14 psi in is 14 psi, so that's great. My boost, yeah, I'm going running 11, 14, yeah. It gotta be my delta P is clean.
Yeah, I don't know, bud.
I'm going to erase the card and you can see it. That's one way to do it. So I got 3 cards. Injected fuel mass too high. And the intake manifold too high.
Right.
So he put too much fuel on my engine, but he said the intake manifold pressure is high too. That don't make sense.
Well, it's going to try to throw more fuel when you got more boost in there, buddy, to try to keep it from leaning. That's what
Yeah,
you
but if the-
gotta,
I know it's not an injector because it's only smooth. It's not like overlapping, nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not getting that. You're not getting any of that surge or shake.
No, nothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing of it could be though too though is you could have a wire shorting out.
It looks like it's a wire because of my electrical issue. Maybe a wire. I'll check it out tonight or tomorrow.
Gotcha.
Mr. OT, how we doing, sir?
What's going on there, Dex?
So, we got the update. Miss Sarah got it done.
I heard something about that. Rocky was saying something there briefly. What's going? What's the?
Yeah,
what's
I don't
the
know if you checked your
situation? The
TikTok
411
page.
here.
Yeah, I don't know if you checked your TikTok page, but I texted you everything on it. But so the dude's name is John. Dylan's name is John. She contacted his boss. They're in Atlanta. Okay, they got an Atlanta phone number. It's called ELG Nest, and she said they do car hauling. They're one of the worst. So I'd actually never heard of them. I haven't even Googled it or anything. And they were very shocked to learn what he's doing. They had no knowledge according to what they told her. I have a copy of the email sent back and forth. And Monday morning at 7 a.m., he no longer has a job.
What?
And he's a company driver, not leased, not OO. Yep.
Oh man, Rocky had said something about the fact that he was baloneying about it, about being the lease operator or whatever you want to call it. So,
we heard like 7, 8 different stories. He was an LLC, he was a lease. His buddy owned a dealership.
right.
He was driving a loaner while the other one got fixed. Something was wrong with it. We heard all kinds of stories. So much went on. I honestly don't remember if you were in there last night, but we got the wife on the phone. Dexy talked him into calling the wife.
She was on there
Yeah,
when I was
Snowflake.
on there for a minute,
Right.
and because I explained to her what was going on with the hours
Oh,
of service.
yep.
And that
I could have sworn you
nonsense.
were in there.
Well, but see,
Dexy asked
Rocky
her out.
brought me up to brought me up to a little on speed. I guess she got to tears or something last night after I got off.
So she gets on. Everybody else wanted to chat with her, so Dexy waited a few minutes, and then Dexy starts talking to her directly, and she she is like, I don't know anything about this. Okay, she flat out said he didn't tell her and lied. So Miss Sarah brought Shannon, which is her ops manager, on, and she flat out told her, if my husband did this, I would punch him in the nose and leave him. And then Dexy said, well, when you get divorced, Dexy lives in Dallas, Texas, and here's his address.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, listen, he and the bestie were like sitting on top of each other, said nothing. And then Dexy kept going on. And Sarah's like, yeah, what if Dexy does bed your wife down? What are you gonna do? I'm gonna confront Dexy. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, dude, this will go great. So Dexy's laughing the whole time. So then she starts breaking her voice. She's crying. You can hear it. She's sobbing. She called her mom and got off. And then Shannon went ballistic about, I think there's some DV going on here. And I'm like, oh, there's no question there's DV going on. So they contacted the local authorities. And Sarah came on directly and said, this is what I'm going to do. And he goes, well, I'm best friends with the district attorney here. Nothing will happen. And we're like, okay, well, we'll find out. So that's what happened.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. What do we refer to that as? A shit show. So.
Oh no,
wow.
it was better than that. I mean, Dr. Raj came in and out, and then he lost it. I've been talking to him for about 4 hours today. Very, very interesting cat. Like him a lot.
I had a 5-hour conversation with Rocky today. So
Yep.
yeah.
So he goes. He came unglued last night, screamed and cussed like I've never heard of before. Mr. Rocky.
Roger
did.
lost it? No way.
Oh, he lost it 2-3 nights in a row.
Oh my.
Yeah, he did.
Poor
He did.
Roger.
He got very. Oh, and Roger's an older cat. If I could guess, I'd say
That's what I mean. He's older and
Been
he's
in the
always
business
so
like 50
level-headed
years.
and so cool and calm and collected. So for him to lose his shit is like, oh my God.
Yeah, but he lost it several days in a row over him, and then he kept he finally was like, Sarah, you got to drop this cat. And then she did. And then Mr. Rocky lost it too. I mean, he did. And they have very much tried to help him. He was even going to give him his fun. Somehow he and Mr. Chris from Blue Ribbon all chatted on a three-way or
On a
video
live,
chat
I
or
think is what it
something.
was.
Christmas
Rocky was
Eve.
telling me a little bit about that. It was a live, I think they did. Yeah.
On Christmas Eve, and they were like, you do this, do that, don't do that. Chris broke it down for him. And he claimed he did the opposite, but we found out he was company driver. And this went on for, 5 hours. It was like 7:30 to 12:30.
Is this. He unfortunately, and this is where I was, I wasn't trying to down on him or anything, but like, bro, you're playing a dangerous game if they're in there and they're playing with your hours of service on the back office mainframe. It doesn't matter who all you're working for. Even me being an owner
We're telling
operator.
his wife all this, and we don't expect her to understand. She's a non-trucking person, but she's
Right.
I can't believe you're doing this. And we're talking about the MCs, and then he tried to say he had 90 days transfer his license. I said, sir, that's federal 30. And she said they went down there like 2 months, so he's violated this double, and he still hadn't got his license. This, that, the other. He's running off Wisconsin, or he told us Wisconsin. She flat out said they moved from Louisiana. So we're gonna go with what she said, and I mean it was funny. They kept saying drop, and Dexy's like, no, this is good. So, I was the only one that was for him being up there. Mr. Cisco, how we doing, sir? And it went on.
Oh, he came in and came out. He came in and came out.
Did that earlier.
Yeah. You got bad service here, big dog? Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Does it sound bad?
No, it's about like normal.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Sounds like a guy that's going to come in here and irritate me or something,
Yeah. So it was great. So basically,
If you want to, we can.
So basically, what Sarah's going to do tonight is Shannon is going to call him, and we're going to ask for the wife and say we're there to set up arrangements to get her to Dexy's place in Dallas. And we're going to start there. Because Sarah called him today, and he answered the phone like, who is this? Who is this? And I'm like, there you go. Yeah, and he's very upset. We have his phone number. It's a Cookeville, Tennessee number, not Livingston. So, but here's the deal.
I will tell you about that Cookeville, Livingston area. They're kind of close enough down there that can happen on a cell phone pretty easily. So,
well, see, Averett's up there. So, Dexy was explaining to him, they train, they'll hire you, they'll hire anybody. And this, that, and the other.
yeah.
He couldn't figure it out. And Mr. Rocky was nice enough to go on and find IMI Concrete. That's Irving Material. They do $1 billion a year. They're a very large concrete place.
They're all the way up into Indiana. I haul calcium out of their places quite often. So yeah,
they bought the concrete company from Rogers Group, which is the largest privately held asphalt paving company in the country, for $5 million back in the late '90s, early 2000s. They took over their operation from Bloomington, Indiana, to Nashville. So well, they're huge and they're everywhere. And
I know.
So he's like, well, I can't get a job with my licensing. Okay, they will hire you to do something there. Okay, they need labor. So you get in there, you get labor, you get a license done, you can graduate up to the truck. Couldn't understand it. Wanted to talk about, he kept deflecting, going back to his childhood. And we're like, from 18 and up, and that was yesterday. Let's get serious. You got a wife and a child. And he just couldn't figure it out. He couldn't figure out. And a gentleman came in the room. He followed me into a few rooms today from Florida, and he cammed up and said, dude, I got 7 kids. This is how you do life. So, he just didn't get it, man. He's not going to get it. So, yeah, Shannon, Miss Sarah and Miss Shannon reported him for a DV. So, because he did admit on reported line he was going to break the mirrors in the house and destroy stuff, and she's there. And the bestie admitted, and he did as well, that their lowest point of their relationship was down in Louisiana, and it was not good. So I'm thinking, okay, a lot of domestic having physical, and then now they're up there with the mother, and they both told her get out of the house, pack a bag, and leave, and don't come back. So we kind of left it on that note.
Wow.
So yeah, so he's never had much employment. They said he hadn't even had one solid year anywhere ever working since he's 18, and he's been driving box truck on and off. And
I heard something about the fact that he's supposed to be on medication and he's not taking it, I guess.
Shannon has 4 children. Her oldest is 23 and has BPD, which is something by
borderline personality.
Yeah,
disorder,
borderline. So she thinks he has that. So then that got into that, and then we got into discussion about you do have to disclose this to the FMCSA, and you cannot drive a truck on these medication. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Flipped out. They know. They this. They that. So you know, we told him, you know, the FMCSA has a website we can report this, and whenever they get around to it. He didn't seem to understand that. We're concerned about your safety, as is the general motor public, and we're concerned about your living arrangements. You scare me. You know, so so he didn't seem to understand that either. So I don't think he really has a Class B at all or anything, and nobody with a Class B would take this long to transfer. And I like I say, it's a strange situation. It's funny, but I'm surprised the mother-in-law. Well, it's so sad. It's funny. I mean, it's like, why didn't the mother-in-law and the wife? And like I say, she was oblivious to a lot of this. And I'm like, what do you guys talk about? What do you guys do in your home? So it got to that. And we asked her, are you okay with him working at McDonald's or IMI or something? And there's a Home Depot close in the area. And Sarah found that one today because the bestie came in her live earlier today. And he said he would be okay working there, but see, he's not married with no kids, so I get it. He's living with the aunt, uncle, or grandparents or something, and so his situation's not near as bad as his. So. It's bad. It's not good. You shouldn't be doing that. You should have a full-time job, but he did admit to being a procrastinator, where the other one didn't.
I just want to know how I can get 5 hours with Cupcake, man. Shit, he only gives me about an hour and a half.
There you go.
You got off the phone last night there, big dog.
Yeah, it ain't hard to get that many hours with him before you realize that you're in a whole nother 2 states away.
Yeah.
By the way, Sarah's supposed to be going live here a little after 5, so I don't know if you guys all want to migrate over there because that's when the John Fall's going to go down. The phone call
I
with
really
him
don't
was
need
not
the
good,
drama.
Oh,
I don't really need the drama. Yeah, I know you do. You seem to enjoy it, so I don't need.
I was the only one having fun in the room. Everybody else was upset, angry, and I was commenting with them in the sections and stuff. Yeah, it was great. I mean, this is everyday. This is everyday stuff. So I was like, there you go.
No, I don't want the drama. I don't need the drama.
You want me to give you one? Food for thought here?
Yeah, go ahead. What do you got, Cisco?
So one of my carriers sends me this message from their factoring company saying that they cannot factor my brokerage anymore due to the fact that my insurance is scheduled to be canceled. And I go, what? I go, I don't have insurance for. So I start, because my renewal's coming next month. You know how a month before the FMCSA puts out that, hey, this is going to, there's, the intent to investigate, and all that shit, the normal stuff. So the factoring company says that my insurance is going to be canceled, that I'm under investigation by the FMCSA, and that they cannot take that they can't factor any more invoices. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, dude, talk about people who are just. So I called them up and I go, let me ask you a question. What does one entity have to do with the other? I don't get it. They're 2 separate businesses completely. And they're wandering around and they're bumping each other's head. They look like they fucking remind me of that. I don't know, what was that? You know what I mean? Those cops who were bouncing at each other and shit, like a little maybe the circus, but remember what I'm talking about that where those cops were trying to catch that bad guy and he'd be hiding right in front of them and they couldn't find him and shit.
Yeah,
yeah, whatever the fuck that was. That's what they reminded me of. I'm like, Dude, that's everybody. That's every trucking company out here. When their insurances are set to need to be renewed, they always send that out. It's a normal thing. If you go through like the FMCSA, you can see it every year.
I'm
It's the
going
same
to tell
thing.
you what's really going on, sir. What's really going on is because of all this non-DACA domicile, and everybody's like double, triple checking, and they're going nuts about it. So they're vetting everybody. Like for example, I've had a lot of companies call me in the last month and for recruitment, and they'll say one of the first questions they ask is, "Are you a non-domicile?" That's one of the questions. They've never said that before. So that's all I can tell you is
You know what's crazy is that when you've already factored like $65,000 with these people.
No, I understand where you're coming from, but I'm just letting you know that's what's going on. No, and I totally saw it. Dr. Rogers back, sir.
Are you feeling better today? I heard you lost your shit last night there, Roger.
Good afternoon to everyone. It's nice to see everyone. The answer is I didn't lose my SHIT. I was just fed up. Because you can only do so much for someone, and respectfully to me, keyword me, it's apparent that that individual has some issues that is much, much deeper than what anyone here has the skills to help and support. And the one I feel sorry for is Rocky, because he spent so much time with that guy, and Sarah for allowing us to participate. But it's terrible. It just is. It's just what more needs to be said. And we don't know how lucky we are to get up every day and have the physical, mental capacity that we have.
Right.
And
Well,
that's go ahead.
I was going to say I actually do because I don't, and I know you guys don't probably know a whole lot about my history, but at one time I was homeless, and at one time I was a drug addict.
Oh my!
So I've got 19 years clean. So I celebrated 19 years. So last year. So
congratulations on that.
Yeah, congratulations, sir.
This is why I can say that I do appreciate being able to wake up with a clean head and a clean mind, and and be able to think straight and have what I have today. Because I have a lot today in comparison to what I had then. Back then I had a car and I had some clothes, and that was about the extent of the situation. So,
So, sir, if you don't mind sharing with us what caused you to go down that path in the first place.
What, the drug path?
Yes, sir.
Surgeries. When you hear people talk about how that they don't think of this side or the other, when you're back then, I'll tell you, it literally, they was prescribing me, and this is the late 90s, early 2000s. I had 5 knee surgeries from 1995 to 2005.
Ouch.
And the doctor would literally prescribe me enough pills, and I would have 4 refills to take 4 Percocets a day for 30 days. And I could walk in and get another one and another one and another one. And then call him and get a refill to get another one and another one and another one. And they were giving these things out like it was, like they were Tic Tacs at the local grocery store, And so, and before you know it, when you're taking them at first, it's like, oh yeah, I'll take one for the pain, because they were prescribed for the knee surgeries. Pop 1 or 2. Oh, I'm going to pop some more. Oh, I'm going to pop some more. And then before you know it, you're literally living off of it, because you're constantly chasing this fairy tale that doesn't exist. Because why? Because you got so much of the nonsense in your system. And so before you know it, it's ridiculous, And then you just, And then the next thing you know, people are noticing your manipulation, and they don't approve of it, and they're noticing your usage, and they don't approve of it. And, the next thing you know, you've went yourself down a pretty bad path. And yeah, I did, I've tried to make amends to anybody and everybody that I could, as long as I didn't feel that it would hurt their situation even more. So there are a couple of people out there that I would make amends to, but at the same time, I don't know if me going there would actually hurt that situation even more than it already is. So, and that's one of those things that, you know, and there's some people that I've tried to make amends to that they don't, they haven't accepted the apology, and that's on them. So, you know, I can only, when you're in that, when you're in recovery, that's all you can do. So it's it's one of those things, you know, and that's why I try to do as good as much, or I should say, I try to do as much good as I can nowadays because of everything that I went through and all of the bad shit that I did. So, you know, it's one of those things. I mean, it is what it is. So, but yeah, that's how it started. Surgeries. They give you the drugs. That's how a lot of people start, is the surgeries or back pain or whatever. So, and back during then time, they would just, you know, they would give out narcotics like they were candy. It was ridiculous. It really was. You know, and then now they swung completely the other way to where that, you know, people can't even hardly get anything. I mean, I walked in with having what they were saying was a stroke here a few months ago. Basically, I had lost all feeling on the side of my face, like everything was gone. Woke up that way. And when we got there, I'm having severe chest pains and stuff. And one of the doctors was basically kept saying, you know, that I was wondering if it was drug-seeking behavior. And then, you know, but the thing of it is my old lady, she knows that I don't do anything. So when I go do because of my drug abuse, I don't get numb from dental visits anymore. So when you give me Novocaine, there's nothing. I don't get numb. I still feel everything. So, you know, it's not exactly good. So they got to knock me out to do anything. And when I was in there, though, they wanted to give me something for the pain, and I couldn't hardly talk. And so thankfully, my old lady was there, and Bobby looked at him because she could see the look in my eye. I was scared to death. And, that they were going to give me a narcotic, and I didn't. And she told them, please don't. He's got 19 years sober. Please do not give him that. He does not want that. So, because I'm too worried about the fact that it's liable to trigger a whole other episode that I don't ever want to walk and repeat ever again in my life. So, you know, when I look back at all the damage and stuff that I did then, yeah. So, yep. So, any other questions about that?
That was brutally honest.
Well, that's about the best way I know how to put it about what I did in my life. So, you know, you got to take accountability for yourself, sir.
One
I mean,
thing
you really
I will
got to do.
One thing I will say is Cupcake, he will always be honest and truthful. You cannot pick up a lie from his mouth. And that's, as much as I know him, that's the kind of guy. He will never bullshit you. He will never, he will always fact check the thing, and he will always be honest. He will tell you the way it is. And that's what we appreciate him.
Yeah, I did enough lying during my drug abuse days. I did enough lying back then for a lifetime. Probably for about 5 lifetimes, just to be real honest. So, you know, because I would do anything. I'll tell you right now, back then when I was in drug abuse in my bullshit days, I would do anything and everything that I thought that I needed to do to get whatever the fuck I wanted to get from you. I would use you and abuse you in any way, shape, or form. I would. I look back on the stuff that I did when I was in active drug abuse, and oh my God. If I could go back and beat the fuck out of myself back then, I would. I'm not going to lie. Because it was completely and totally wrong. So, you know, but you got to own your shit, right? You know, so that's why I do what I do today, because of everything I did back then. Hoping to maybe, just maybe by the wee little bits, that I'll make up for some of it. So.
Did you go to any groups or meetings or anything like that, or did you just do it by yourself?
No, I did. I would go to NA and AA meetings. I also did a lot of therapy. I realized that during my the very beginning parts of my my recovery, that I was also using it as a self-medication to try to drown out all the bullshit. And so, yeah, I had to go wind up. And I went and dealt with some things that I had done. So that I wasn't exactly proud of and kind of hated myself for. So, you know, there's a lot to it. So when you're involved in that nonsense, and you know, at first you think you're just, you know, oh, I'm gonna pop a couple extra of these pills. You know, the doc gave them to me for my knee surgery. You know, it's not gonna hurt anything. You know, and then you turn right back around, and then the next thing you know, 4 months later, you're over here and you're healed. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I was healed up, but I'm still popping them like they're Tic Tacs. You know, like a complete and total jackass. And yeah, I mean, it's, you know, but then you think about some of the stuff you did to people, and you kind of get down on yourself. And well, guess what? I'm not down on myself when I pop a couple of these. So you know what? Here, let's pop a couple more. You know, and pop it, just boom, 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 boom. Before you know it, you're just, yeah, you've walked a very unrighteous path. We'll put it that way. So, yep.
So, yeah, I can so relate. I bet your BS detector is really, really good too, isn't it?
Well, you know, I'm gonna put it this way. My uncle Jerry, he's passed and gone now. This was, I don't know, I was probably what, 3 years into my sobriety at this point, and he pointed it out to me. He said, you know, you're kind of like getting like an old man over there, Mike. And I was like, yeah, how's that, Uncle? And he's like, you just ain't got no time for no bullshit, do you? And I was like, no, not really, not anymore. I really don't. So, you know, it's, yeah, it's, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll sit around and I'll drink a beer and bullshit with the boys, no different than anybody else will, and have some fun and, you know, tell some jokes and stuff. But when it comes down to the serious, yeah, I prefer not to have to deal with it too much. And if you start too much of it, we're probably going to put an end to it pretty quick. So, you know, that's about the best way I can answer that.
Way back many, many years ago, I can remember there was a commercial that came on, and it was talking about drug use or drug abuse. And it was saying, you know, you'll just do this so that you can stay awake a little longer, so you can do a little bit more, so you can make more money, so you can buy more drugs, so you can do a little bit more, so you can make more money. And that perpetuating.
I would do that, yep.
Yeah, it was just, it never ended. It was a very definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a better result.
Oh, I used to do a lot of that. I used to do a lot of that nose candy when I was running, you know. I used to do a lot of that dumb shit too, you know. Yep. That's the thing about it. Like, a lot of people have asked me, they're like, well, how do you still drink it? It's like, because I can walk into a bar and I can have a beer and walk away. I can be at home and I can make a cocktail and I can walk away. I don't, you know, I go out to dinner with the old lady and we'll go to the Mexican joint, go see our friends Juan and Miguel up there that own it, and Zahid, and I have a margarita, and that'll be it. And there's sometimes we walked out of there and I've only drank half the margarita. You know, not a big deal. But when it comes to the other, the hard stuff, yeah, once that one grabs a hold of me, oh, it's a whole new ball game. So, yep.
Wow.
Yo, Chill, how you doing, man? So Chill on the top left is owner operator from Clarksville, Tennessee.
Oh, what's up, Joe? Just hanging out.
Can hear you, Chill.
What is the topic of the day there, Company?
You know what? We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. Like it says, truckers wanted, conversations required.
I take it you're not in Texas at this point?
I am in Texas.
No, sir. No.
You finally got loaded and got out of here?
Oh yeah. Well, I got unloaded Monday, and I beat feet to Arkansas, picked up a load and brought it up here to Waverly, New York, and then I just picked up this load over in Hudson, which now I get to sit on until Monday. Apparently, this is how my new year, bringing in the new year, and my year is going to go. We're going to pick up loads and we're going to sit on them for 3 or 4 days. So,
wow. Yeah, you were at the truck stop, and I kept thinking, with the Buc-ee's across the street and all that, and I was like, I've been in there probably 100 times. I've been there once. And I live in Houston, and I was thinking, it wouldn't be that far for me to go ahead and just drive up there. I should just go up there and just buy the guy dinner. But it was Saturday night, and I was thinking, I got to be at work first thing Monday morning. I better not. But I really did. I wanted to go up and meet you.
Yeah, you've been more than welcome. Yep. Did I tell you the story about how I got stuck in Hillsboro like that for an entire weekend?
Well, I caught part of it, but I didn't catch the whole thing as to how you ended up the whole weekend.
So this is what happened. I had a load coming into Tennessee for one of the brokers that I do a lot of business with, and he had called me, and he was wanting to know if I had another load booked yet. And I said, no, not yet, Bubba. I said, what you got? He said, well, I got 2 loads. I got one coming out of Cuthbert, and I got one coming out of Skyuga. He said, but the Cuthbert pays really well. And, Frenchie, Pablo, you're going to have to go out and come back in, bro. Yeah, they just, do you hear me, bud? He's going to have to come out and come back in. They just, they're going to pop him. Anyways, so I go through, we were talking about it, and I'm like, well, let's do the Cuthbert, I guess. I said, where's it going? He goes, it's going to Rice. And I'm like, Rice is not open after 3:30 on Wednesday, right? And he's like, well, I heard something about that. And I'm like, well, you know how Cuthbert is. Cuthbert, I said, man, we'll sit down there for 12 hours sometimes to get loaded. I said, I'm not taking that load and sitting on it for 4 days unless somebody's going to pay me layover pay. And he said, right, I get it. He goes, let me call and see. So he calls Cuthbert. Cuthbert says, no, we'll get him loaded. We ain't got a whole lot on the books today, so we should have him in and out of here within at least a couple hours. So, which for Cuthbert is amazing. Absolutely amazing. So anyways, he said, give me an ETA because they want an ETA on when you're going to be there. And I said, well, bro, they're paying for me to bounce. I said, I've got almost 300 miles to drive to get there. I said, I'm coming out of Cleveland. And he was like, and I said, I still got to get fuel and get washed out. He's like, no, just let me know. And I was like, all right. I said, well, right now it says 7:45 I'll be there. I said, give me an extra hour or so because I got to drive through Atlanta, get fuel, get washed out, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, we get there at 9:45. Pulled in there at 9:45. I'm loaded and on the scale at midnight. Plenty of time to get from Cuthbert, Georgia to Rice by 3:30 the next day. Go through, and she looks at me and tells me, sorry, you're on a credit hold. I said, honey, I didn't buy this load. I'm just here to pick it up and take it to your customer. And she's like, no, I can't give you paperwork because it's on a credit hold. And I'm like, do what? And she's like, yeah, I can't give you the paperwork. And they don't come in until 8 o'clock in the morning. So you're going to have to wait. And I said, that's not going to work. I said, because the load, I'm not hanging on to this until Monday. Because Rice wasn't opening back up on Friday. They were giving their people, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. And so she's like, well, I can't do it. So I'm on the phone with Mike. Mike's trying to get these people to get their, stuff together. 2 o'clock in the morning rolls around, still ain't got nothing. And so I'm sitting there. They won't take the load off the truck. They won't, and I'm like, here we go. So 8 o'clock rolls around. I get up. I text Mike. I'm like, hey, you heard anything? He's like, no, I'm still working on it. I'm like, all right. 9:30, they come out, knock on my door. They say, hey, you need to go up to the office and talk to them about the credit application. I'm like, folks, I'm not trying to buy product from you. I just haul it. So he turns around, he leaves, he comes back 5 or 10 minutes later, and he's like, well, they got your paperwork ready up there at the office. You got to go up and get it. I'm like, are we going to come to an agreement here on this layover? I said, if not, we're taking the product off my truck. And he says, well, you're going to talk to them up there. I'm like, okay. So I walk up there. This little Melanie girl comes walking over, and she says, are you Cobb? And I'm like, yep. And she's like, well, I got your paperwork. And I said, well, honey, I'm not accepting that paperwork until I have a rate con that states that I'm getting paid for the 12 hours I've been here and the 4 days that I'm going to hold on to this product. So she says, well, that's not really up to me. And I said, I understand that. This is above your pay grade. I said, but we're going to have to get somebody to make sure I get this. Well, I told her, I said, I'm going to walk back down the truck while you guys figure this out. Next thing you know, plant manager comes walking down. He's like, is there a problem? And I'm like, huh? I'm sitting in my truck just scrolling through the phone and talking to Mike back and forth periodically about if we heard anything from these people. And I'm like, what are you talking about a problem? I'm just sitting in my truck. What's, I don't understand. He goes, well, why haven't you left yet? I heard you're loaded. I said, yeah, but I don't have a rate con that states that I'm getting paid detention, nor do I have a rate con that states that I'm getting layover due to the fact that I've been here for 12 hours. He said, well, that has nothing to do with us. I said, oh, no, it does. I said, because it's because of you or your company here that is the reason why I was delayed 12 hours, and because I'm going to be sitting over in Texas for 4 days. That dog don't hunt for me. So, and nobody wants to take the product off my truck, so we're going to have a rate con. He said, well, that's between the sales team. I said, well, like I said, until I have something, I'm not leaving. Well, anyways, go through. Next thing you know, here comes walking old dude. Old dude comes over and hands me my paperwork, says, here you go. And I said, sir, I'm not accepting that until I have a rate con that states that I'm, getting detention on this and getting layover. And he said, no, you're taking this paperwork and you're getting off my property or I'm calling the sheriff. And I'll have your truck towed and have you arrested.
Wow.
So I'm on the phone with Mike, talking to Mike about this. And Mike's like, let me talk to this guy. And I'm like, well, okay, well, here you go. So I'm like, sir, Mike wants to talk to you. Now, I've got Mike on speakerphone at this point. And the guy says, I don't want to fucking talk to him. So I'm, hey, Mike, you heard what he said. And he's like, I sure did. He goes, what the hell does this dude need to be rude for? I'm just trying to talk to him. I'm like, I don't think he wants to talk to you. He's like, would you please put me on speakerphone so I can, I said, bro, you're already on speakerphone. Here. So he's like, sir, would you please just talk to me for a second? So dude takes the phone, talks to him. Mike gets back on there and he tells me, he says, man, they said they're not going to take it off the truck. And he said, man, you might want to leave. I said, well, bro, I'm just now finding all this out. Like, he's like, well, I just got an email that says that they're calling the law. And I'm like, dude, I ain't even aired the truck up, fired the truck up or nothing. I've been sitting here on a bunk heater for 14 hours. And he's like, oh. I'm like, yeah, I can't leave it if I want to. I can't even, there's no air in the truck, So I fire the truck up, go check all my tires and stuff, yada, yada, go through. And Mike calls me back and he goes, I still ain't heard nothing. I was like, yeah. And about that time, dude looked at me and I rolled the window down. And he said, I'm telling you right now, you're either leaving my property right now or I will have the law on property in 5 minutes. And you will go to jail and your truck will be towed. And Mike said, just get off property. We'll deal with it after the fact. And so that's what I did. And now we're still fighting with Tyson/River Valley Ingredients in Cuthbert, Georgia for detention and layover pay.
Oh, you'll fight for the next 6 months probably.
Most likely, sir. Most likely. Yep.
A long, long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, I used to work for a little mom and pop outfit out of Greeley, Colorado, that got bought out by ConAgra.
Oh,
And back when Mr. Kenny owned it, it was a hell of a place to work. I made seriously good money running back and forth across the country. ConAgra got their hands on it, and I'm sure Mr. Kenny got a pretty good check out of it. But once they took it over, man, I never saw everything go sideways so fast in my life as I did when that happened. I see the same thing happen with these conglomerates like that. And it's just the left hand never knows what the right hand's doing. One side of the office doesn't tell the other side what's going on. Nobody talks to anybody. Everything's an email. Nobody picks up the phone and asks questions. It takes forever to get something figured out as to what they're going to pay, when they're going to pay it, any of that stuff.
right. Yep, it does. It does. Well,
And
I
it's
mean,
not-
I could tell you, a company I worked for before I became an owner-operator, not a bad company, but they absorbed. Did you ever hear about Akey Feeds or Bigger Tone? You ever heard of that?
The feeds I had,
Okay, so when Carl Akey decided I guess he sold out, and Pravimi bought it out. And when they did, they decided that they did not want to have anything to do with the transportation side of it. So the company I worked for, they bought out the Nutrition Transportation Services, which was their, transportation side. And I heard all those guys that come over there that had like 20 years in or whatever with Akey, and that it's the same thing. When Carl Akey owned it, he used to give them a credit card. They would go buy their truck, spec the truck out however they wanted, yada, 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 buy whatever color you wanted. They had all of the perks, if you will. Of course, they were also the salespeople, as the truck driver and delivering the feeds and stuff. And as they would go to the different ranchers and stuff like that, they would, talk to them and what do you need? What are you looking to do? Upcoming orders, yada, yada, all that. So, yeah. And then it's the same thing now, is what you're talking about there. Now it's, Cargill owns it. Cargill's owned it for some time now. And they don't want to pay hardly. I had offered to them to stay on, and just, still own my truck, run under my authority, but help them out and stuff because I knew they were short on drivers. And they offered me $1.74 a mile plus fuel surcharge.
wow.
And I went, sorry. I said, Neil, you're sorry, buddy. I can't do that. I just can't do that. That's just, that's insane to me. And, but, it happens, but that's one of the, to be honest, I bet they're not making much more than that anyways. Just from some of the loads that I've seen, going in there, that I've hauled in there and stuff. I mean, it's, or I've gotten calls about, I should say, because I've only hauled 2 loads in there since I've been an owner operator, and I had to fight tooth and nail to get $3 a mile out of it, and, but it's like, but like this load here that I'm on, it's 4.25 a mile. So, I don't understand. I really don't. And then when I got over there, they were complaining about how much they had to pay for the load. And I'm like, do you people understand what it takes to run a truck up and down the road nowadays? Like,
Well, just the insurance hike alone killed so many people.
yeah.
And I'm hearing a lot of scuttlebutt in the background about tort reforms here and tort reforms there. I don't know if that's going to change anything. The lawyers put that great big push on what? Well, it wasn't that long ago. What was it? 4 or 5 years ago? Was it that they put the big push on that they wanted to double our insurance?
They literally just had that one there, 2021, when they did
That's
the
what it was,
Invest in
yeah.
America Act. Yes, yeah, they wanted to push it to $2 million, and that immediately got withdrawn. And then now, for some reason, I'm seeing these things are coming back in because mother trucker couldn't figure out how to fucking read something correctly. So he, falsely, reported on that one that, oh, it's all coming and they brought the act in. No, they didn't. They might have voted on and voted in the Invest in America Act in, but the $2 million clause in there was not kept. So, yeah.
It just astounds me, and I noticed that a lot of these nuclear verdicts, as they call them, have been flipped around now, and of course, any of these big mega cases like that, that's 10, 15, even 20 years before they're finally resolved, because of the appeals process and the arguments back and forth, and they drop them. But you get these verdicts and everybody sees that number and they don't follow up on it, and they never hear the rest of the story. And I'm thinking back to that, I want to say it was a Warner truck where they literally had done nothing wrong, absolutely nothing wrong. The only thing they could really pin against the driver was the company policy that they weren't allowed to have a CB radio in the truck. And they were on that snowy, icy road or whatever. The guy lost control, went across the median and hit them head on, and they blamed the trucking company for it. And they got this $450 million verdict against them or some crazy nonsense. They appealed it, lost the appeal, but then they appealed it again and won. And I believe it was Texas that they appealed it, and they reversed it and said, that person's negligence had nothing to do with the trucking company. The person that hit them head on.
One of the things that we want to see changed is in the insurance reform side is more along the lines also with the judicial side of it. This nonsense of that, well, we're going to blame the truck driver, even though we crossed over the whole entire median, ran through cables and guardrails and everything else and hit this truck, and now it's the truck's fault that we hit them.
You can't go down the interstate. You can't go down the interstate anywhere. I don't care if it's Houston, if it's Pittsburgh, if it's Binghamton, New York, if it's, I don't care where you are. You can't go down the interstate without seeing a great big billboard. Been in a big truck crash, call this attorney. They're everywhere, and they advertise like mad. And that's all these people look for, Oh, well, I've been in an accident. And they don't consciously think of it, I don't think. Well, some of them do, and they got caught. I think Louisiana had a big scam there for a while where they were doing that. But I don't think people consciously try to have an accident with a big truck. But when they have one, then they go back and they go, oh, remember that billboard? Hey, we could make money off of this.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it, you do see some videos that, make it around on the social media circuit, if you will, of where the ones that go through and they do the brake checking nonsense and get rear-ended by a truck. And then, of course, the funny part about it is they're on candid camera, if you will. So, and obviously I thoroughly tell anybody, even if you're a company driver anymore, go get you a dash cam. It'll save you. It really will. I can tell you, if you go back and look at any of my videos from on my private page or my personal page there, I got sideswiped by Abilene Motor Express going into the tunnel over on the PA Turnpike here back in, I think it was 22. And the cop, when he came out, he wasn't going to issue anything. And it's like, excuse me, my insurance company I'm not going to take the hit for this. I'm not going to have to file, when I go through and renew my insurance, I have to have a loss run report that shows that, my insurance company had to pay to have my truck fixed. Are you nuts? And he's like, well, you don't really have any evidence that. I said, oh, no, I do right here. And I hit play on the monitor for the dash cam, and you clear plain as day see her come completely over. One, she's in the left lane, so no trucks left lane in that area. Two, she comes completely into my lane to where that, I don't know, I think her steer tire was something like 2 foot over the line. because I wound up, I hurt my passenger side mirror going into the tunnel wall, trying to stay away from it the best I could. And, you know, messed up my tar bar, messed up the hood, you know, so on and so forth. And, you know, the cop wasn't even going to cite her. And it's like, what? Like, what is your purpose here? You know, I mean, if you're a police officer, aren't you supposed to fill out accident reports? I mean, you know, and then I still had to fight with Knight Swift's insurance about it. She got 3 citations for the accident. There's video evidence of said, you know, accident and her being at fault. And I still had to fight with them about getting fixed. Oh, well, we don't want to pay for your lost wages. Excuse me? It's because of your driver that I have this problem. Like, how is that, you know? But that's that big company, no different than like Tyson right now in River Valley Ingredients. You know, and I'm like you said, I'll be fighting with that for 6 months. I fought that insurance case for 9 months.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, but a lot of people don't realize the amount of time that it's going to take to do something like that. Any of it. It doesn't matter if it's an accident or filing a claim or fighting with getting a paid invoice. It's not instantaneous. It's going to take you a while. And that's money that's just lost. So you didn't get paid for anything, any extras. You only got paid for the load, which really didn't cover shit because you sat for 4 days. Now you got to sit and you got to wait 6 months or however long it takes for you to finally get this squared away. That's all money out the window, and we get nothing for it. Absolutely nothing. No interest, no nothing.
Right.
You know.
Well, and that's why I want. That's why I filed a rulemaking with the FMCSA. We're still waiting on it to be published. I did speak with Richard Clemente about it. And it's basically, it's going to require detention after 1 hour. And it's going to be put into the FMCSA rules. That's what we're trying to hope for, at least, is we can get enough people to go into it. Well, it's basically 1 hour. They have 1 hour to get you unloaded. After that, detention starts. So I'm trying to do a compromise. So
I was gonna say I could see 2. After that, I would say yeah. And the only reason I say 2 is just the simple fact that hey, sometimes, you know, especially a first come first serve place, you know, all of a sudden everybody just piles in all at the same time, and 30 minutes a truck is hard to do.
Right. Well, but see, this is one of those things. So, like I was having a conversation with Vince the other night, and we were talking about the FOPT Act, you know, which is not really an act that we are trying to do as a petition, but it's kind of more along the lines of everything of what we would like to see changed and how we would like to see it changed too. And he asked me, he said, well, you know, if you were to send that to a congressperson, you know, would you be okay with only getting 70% of it passed? And I said, to be honest, I would be satisfactory with 60%. I understand in business, because I run a business, that even government is the same thing as a business. It's all negotiations. You know, you want this, they want this. Okay? So there's got to be a give and a take. So I understand we're going to go into this comment period when it gets published, and people are going to comment on it. I'm sure there are going to be people that are going to say, well, no. But if we can at least get it to where that they put it on there, that detention time is a requirement based off of safety reasons, which I've put all of that in the petition, which there's a video on our page here that has all the letters that I wrote, so you can pause and read them if you would like. But, you know, I would like to see that. So if they were to come back and say, well, it's 2 hours, I understand we're going to be in what is considered a negotiation now. This is like contract negotiations. So I would like to see an hour. The reason why I would like to see an hour is this. There's no reason that we shouldn't be in an hour. And if the thing of it is if we all pile in, that's fine. Hire more people. We have all these people that don't have, you know, jobs and stuff. Hire more people. Train them, you know. Teach them how to drive a forklift or whatever the case may be. you know, instead of worrying about this unemployment nonsense. How about we just train people and put them to work? You know, I mean, there's plenty of people that I know of that want jobs that can't find jobs right now. So, because of the areas they live in. So, you know,
they don't even have to hire more people. You take a first come, first serve and turn it into an appointment base. I used to work in the warehouse. It takes 15 minutes for a driver to walk in, check in, back into a door, and it takes another 30 minutes to strip their truck. The counting thing, that's on the company. They can write on the paperwork that they signed it contingent on piece count.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good, and you're right though. 30 minutes to unload a truck is reasonable. 30 minutes to fork off a load of lumber or drywall or whatever you've got, or unload a box trailer. 30 minutes is not unreasonable. 30 minutes with an efficient driver, a forklift driver, that's not hard to do, and it doesn't take that long to count the damn thing. Trust me, I know.
Well, so
I've fingerprinted enough freight to know.
You know what's gonna be the retaliation on that though, right?
What's that?
Is that the late fees that they're gonna charge? I bet you they're gonna be double or triple. You're late for your appointment, since we have to pay detention after an hour. You're late 30 minutes, $500 fee, $600.
No, if you're late, you give up your detention. The moment you're late, you become a work-in and give up your detention.
We don't get paid. We don't get paid detention now, and you still got to pay a late fee.
That's a broker issue.
After 30 minutes to a lineage.
Well,
so it's like $250 if you're there 30 minutes late.
And see, this is where, like, when I look at that, this is one of those things that is not in or on the rate cons a lot of times that needs to be. And this is one of those things where, like, we have in the FMPT Act is that we want to see the rate con have everything on it. For it to be considered a legal tender, you have to have on there detention pay, layover pay, tonneau pay, any accessorials. So, like, if you talk about the late fees, if you're late to the appointment and it's $200, that must be on the rate con. Then this bullshit chargebacks that happen fucking 14 days later.
That's not being charged to the broker. You have to pay that to get loaded. It's basically what happens is if I give you a load and you arrive at the facility late, the facility charges you.
Right, but this is where the broker needs to get all the information then. I mean, if you're going to broker a load, then you need to have all the information from the shippers and consignees. And so this will be where the shippers and the consignees need to up their game and make sure that the brokers have all the information. Because if it's not on the rate con, then it doesn't happen.
That's just good salesmanship. I mean, if you go in there and you negotiate a contract with somebody to be their broker, then you should know all of the ins and outs of everything that's going to be required so that you send the correct trucks at the correct time.
Right. No. What I'm trying to say is that yes, I'm not talking about like you're getting there just because. I'm talking about like if you're negligent in not getting there, which happens more than people actually sometimes arriving on time, right? I mean, if I tell you, hey, there's a $300 fee, I put it on the rate con, $300 late fees apply at this facility. You arrive late, you're paying $300. What the facility is going to do is if they're going to have to pay detention on you after 1 hour, they're going to raise that rate up to counter those detention fees. That's my opinion of what they're going to do.
And you know what, though, Cisco? You know what? I will say this. When it comes to the late fees and stuff, there's a thing called professionalism. And I watched this great movie, Coach Carter. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're 5 minutes early, you're on time.
On time, right.
Now, I will say this when it comes to late fees as well. If you are held up by no cause of your own, they shut the highway down for a bad accident, okay? You can't help that. You know, if you blow a tire out, you can't help that. Now, if you can prove that, you know, hey, and this is where communication happens. Sure. Like, I mean, you know, Cisco, if you were my broker and I'm going along, and we'll just say you got a load at, hey, Mike, I need you to take a load and it delivers in Des Moines, Iowa. Okay. And we'll just say it's a 1,000-mile run. So we're going along and, you know, I give you an ETA. I say, hey, Cisco, it looks like I'm going to probably be there on Tuesday by 4 o'clock in the afternoon is what it's looking like. And so we set the appointment up, give myself a little leeway. You set it up for maybe 6 o'clock, okay? Now we're going along, and I run into a bad accident, and they shut the highway down for 6 hours.
Right.
That's no fault of mine. And I should not be being charged a late fee for something along those lines. Now, if I go through and I set an appointment and time it up with you for 6 o'clock,
right,
and then we turn around and I decide that I'm going to, sleep in for 6 hours when I shouldn't be and take a 16-hour break instead of a 10, and then I call you and say, well, I'm going to be late because I decided to sleep in, then I made an appointment time with somebody. I should keep my word.
I have fought these people on all those issues.
I know.
And I always get charged. It's always the same thing. So what I'll do in those type of situations, if it's something where the guy got off to a late start, or hey, you know what? Let me throw this at you. Like UPS, FedEx. You know how like if they arrive late, you get your shipping charges free if you're the shipper of the package.
Yeah.
If their truck has a breakdown, they still return your money. The only time that those companies will not give you your money back is through an act of God. If it's weather, tornado, earthquake, something happened, they will not refund your shipping fees. If it has something to do with their truck breaking down, they blew a tire, truck didn't make it, that package arrived late, here's your refund, here you go. These people, they do the same thing. Your truck wasn't here, no call, no show, whatever, however they want to word it. And usually what I'll do with my carrier is this. I'll go, okay, there's a $500 fee here. I'll cover $250 out of my pocket. You cover the other $250. What do you think? They're going to charge us no matter what.
Oh, you mean force majeure?
Whether it was your, what's that?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I thought you were done.
Oh no,
I was talking about when you were talking about act of God, force majeure.
Force majeure.
But yeah, it's the clause that's usually in all of these contracts with the brokers. But the same thing. But the problem they come into, and this is why they're so rigid about it, is how many times has a driver said, "Oh yeah, I blew out a tire. Oh, they had the highway blocked."
Exactly.
And they didn't. It was just the guy was being screwing around.
Well, yeah,
at a truck stop somewhere.
You have 5 trucks arriving with the same excuse, or a tire issue. Then there was a highway, and then it was this, and then it was that. I mean, it's
yeah.
Well, I mean,
all
this
of that
is where
can be
it's easily
proven.
proven. That's what I was about to say. This is very easily to prove. If I blow a tire out, I'm going to be able to have a receipt that I could go, hey, right here. I literally just spent $600 to have a tire fixed. You know what I mean? It's got a time on it. It's got a date on it. It's
I've gone rounds with
this is where we also need to be able to do this stuff. Well, this is where we also need to be able to do this. We need to be able to call our brokers and say, hey, I've got a problem here. We need to reschedule this appointment time.
Sure. There it is, right there.
And
that's it,
and
exactly.
As long as you do a reschedule, the day before, they'll waive that fee. Okay.
Right. But how are you going to do it?
But most carriers, but they don't say nothing until they're there. You know what I mean? Hey, I got here, and now they're charging me a fee. Well, dude, why didn't you tell me like 10 miles behind that you weren't going to make it? I could have sent an email, had them just reschedule it for tomorrow. We save ourselves $250.
Exactly.
Now you arrived, you checked in.
This is professionalism.
And now they're trying to charge you. No, I get it. This is what I'm saying. So this isn't really my debate, this part of it. My thing is, if you're going to charge detention to these people, they are going to turn around and go, okay, you want to charge us after an hour? No problem. Now your late fees, because I got people on that dock waiting for that truck because I only have 1 hour to unload that truck. Now your late fees are triple. Your truck ain't here? Triple.
Well,
you know what?
A lot of
That's
that would be my opinion.
Well, I will say this. If you are not professional enough to be able to make a phone call or send an email or a text message, because let's be honest here, almost every single person has a cell phone. There's no reason you cannot send a text message, a email, any of that stuff to anyone, to be able to bring people up to speed on where you're at with whatever's going on. So if you're not professional enough to hold a conversation and communicate your problem or your situation with your broker or your trader or the shipper or the consignee, however the situation is, then guess what? Maybe after you lose a couple $1,000, maybe you'll learn how to pick up a phone and make a phone call.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like, when you were a kid and you couldn't figure out how to stop doing stuff, and you got grounded or put in timeout or got your butt smacked. You know, I mean, this is where we need to have professionalism be brought back in here.
I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I think I'm just saying.
I don't have an issue with that.
Once you
I don't have an issue with that.
I think it's fine. I would think that they're going to turn around because I mean, you would think if they only have an hour and your truck is arriving late, and they got people that they want to get this thing off because they're trying to save money as well.
Right.
I mean, they're going to go, okay, your truck wasn't here. Not only is he going to wait, but he's also going to the time of that person sitting there or whatever it is that they're going to do. They're going to put them as a work-in, possibly have to reschedule till the following day. I mean, I'm just saying that there are going to be also consequences on the backside of that as well.
Well, guess what though, Cisco?
It's just going to be like people are going to go, oh, okay, now I got an hour. That's it.
We all have consequences for our actions. We all have consequences for our actions. Your inaction of making a phone call to your broker and informing your broker that, hey, I've got a problem. I'm not going to make that appointment time now. Your inaction, you now have a consequence for. We are all adults here. It's time to start acting like so. So you know what? If they want to go through and double up those late fees for these assholes that can't get their lives together, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Right. Good.
I'm sorry. And you know what? Anybody listening over there on the AFART land that wants to try to turn that into I'm not for truckers. No, I'm not for lazy people that are unprofessional and do not know how to take accountability for their actions.
Right.
You all just heard me in this live here talk about taking accountability for my dumbass actions 20 some years ago. Still taking accountability for it today.
Doug, what were you gonna say the Frenchman? I know he was trying to say something.
I am trying. Yeah, I'm trying hard. And guys, to cut you off.
Sorry,
yeah,
Pablo.
Sorry,
I'll shut up.
The major issue I have is about detention. Is when you go to a receiver like Aldi, Costco, warehouse, where they remove the item for each trailer. It takes 30 minutes. Then they will take of your time 6 or 7 hours to put that to wait at the door for them to load to another truck from Aldi or Cisco or Costco. That's my issue with that. That's why I'm saying the 1 hour is perfect. Get your stuff out of my trailer, let me out. Then you guys can rearrange all your stuff for your own truck. But don't take that on my time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean?
Well, and exactly, right there. They're literally burning up a truck driver's time so that they can rearrange it. No, get it off my trailer. You guys rearrange it after I'm gone. It's not my job to sit here and wait while you get your house together.
Well, you know what I run into a lot too is that I do this load from Phoenix, Arizona down to the border. You know, we do it like twice a month, and their ingredients, you know, just like it's like 6 pallets of ingredients, breadcrumbs and stuff that they use to make some products, and we get to the shipper or to the receiver, right? And it's just basically a forwarding facility, you know. And so what they'll do is they'll kind of cross stock, but they're customs broker, as well. So they have a customs broker as well. And so what they'll do is they'll start like, so if the company in Mexico doesn't have a truck, they'll just make us sit with it. Like, and the thing is that they start going back and forth. The person buying it and the person selling it start going back and forth, you know what I mean? While the truck is just sitting there, and they'll do this for like 4 hours, going back and forth about, I didn't receive this paperwork. Yes, I sent it to you. No, I did, because I'm also in the email chain, and I sent it to you. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. No, you didn't. I mean, for hours, and I'm just thinking to myself, what a bunch of assholes. Like, do you realize that there's a driver that's sitting there with your product on the truck, has no idea what the hell is going on? He's bitching at me to get this load off the truck. He made it on time. He's there. You know what I mean? And then finally somebody will go, okay, go ahead. I'll pay the $120 to store it until the following day. I mean, they're fighting over $120. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, there's been times where I'll jump in there and I'll go, look, guys, I'll pay the $120. Whatever you guys decide, just somebody reimburse me. I'm going to get the driver off because he's blowing up my phone. He needs to get out of there. I don't want to pay for his lost load. It's going to cost us 10 times more. Get the freaking load off of his trailer. You guys can fight about it all you want to. Here's the $120. Just fucking get it stored, you know, and let's go. You know, but they'll fight over it. They just, there's no concept. There's no like conscious, you know, part of, there's somebody there that's trying to make money holding on to your product. You know what I mean? It's just they take it for granted, I guess. I don't know. It's a strange thing.
That's mainly because they think our time is free. They don't value our time at all. They don't value any of our what it costs us to run our equipment. They don't value any of that stuff because they've never had to pay for it. It's always been free. It's been free forever. And that's just the mindset that's happened since the 80s when everything started. I hate to say it, to use the big D word, but ever since deregulation, that's pretty much what happened. You know, you opened up the door for a free market. Well, that's great. Anybody and anybody can just go buy a truck and be a company now. That's fantastic. And it was very prosperous, but it really ruined the people's value of what it really takes to get product from one end of the country to the other, because the person that's doing the work isn't being compensated for it.
Yeah. Well, and the biggest problem with deregulation is this, okay? You had a bunch of crooked stuff going on previous to deregulation. Like, if you go back and look at any of that, there was so much backhanded stuff going on before deregulation, it wasn't even funny. And so they turned around and they thought that what was going to happen, and this is where, like, government fails on the daily basis, is that they thought, oh, we'll go through, we're going to deregulate trucking. It'll bring in more competition, which will bring the shipping costs down, and it will save the consumer money. The problem of it is this, and this is the same problem with the whole $5 and $1 a mile thing is. There's nothing there was nothing written in there that was going to bring the prices down. All the shippers did was went, great, we're going to save money and make more profit. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah, the shipping rates came down, but the profits went up on the shippers, because I have not seen, and I've done a lot of research over inflation, economy, the whole 9 yards. I did not see a drop in prices after deregulation because of the shipping costs went down. There has been a constant rise the entire time. Now, we've had some spikes that have went up a little higher, and we've had a little bit of lulls and stuff on the inflation or with the economy, but you've never seen it where it dropped back down. You've never seen where, you know, we'll just say a gallon of milk went from $1 to 50 cents. You know, you've seen where it kind of leveled off, but you never seen a constant drop. No, they didn't. Those savings that the shippers got just went right into their pockets. And this is where the government fails, is because if you go through, go ahead, Tool Time. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I really didn't.
No, go ahead. I'll sit here and talk for hours, so just go ahead.
I was going to give you something to research so I can send you on a squirrel path.
Oh, great. Here we go. We got another Leander, folks. I'm all for this. Here, hold on. Let me write this one down here. I'm going to get my brain going here today. All right, what are we researching for you, sir?
No. We're not going to do that to you tonight. But I was going to say is, you know, it's the same thing with any government entity. Once they get comfortable making a certain dollar amount, they're not going to stop. It's just like you can't cut a budget. You can never cut a budget in a government entity. You know, it's always going to increase. It never decreases and it never goes away. You create a government entity and it just becomes something else if they change it. Like the ICC then became the DOT. They didn't go away. They just changed the name and they got a bigger budget.
Yeah, well, they actually split it. It became FMCSA and the what was it? The SBT, not SBTC. NHA, the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration. They split it. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I forgot about that.
Well,
but it's the profit margin's never going to go away. They've come to get comfortable with it, and they're never going to let that go. So they're never going to let you, no matter what you do with deregulation or anything else, they're never going to let